All right, Luca Nation, let's kick off another episode, which I think is going to be a really, really memorable one, fun one, lots of value, a few really awesome topics to discuss. So we're really excited to be back with another episode of Luca's Tigers and Bronze. Oh my. Wanted to give you guys some loves, a huge shout out. We're about 4 or 5 months into YouTube, and just yesterday we hit 1,000 subscribers, which I know round numbers and all that stuff, like 999 to 1,000, is that really that big of a deal? But it feels like a big deal. It feels like a milestone because we're building momentum, and we're building momentum really with a community that believes in what we're doing, supports us, and we believe in our community. A lot of you guys have reached out and offered to help. We're excited. We just added Alex, who runs Slab Cards. He's an amazing graphic designer. He's going to be running our socials and helping us a lot. So we couldn't be more excited about what the future holds, and we couldn't be more excited to build it with you guys. So I want to take just a minute here and really give a shout out to where we were, what we've accomplished together, and where we're going. On today's episode, we'll talk about Golden, new marketplace, new vault, right? Vaulting's been around for a while, but they have their new website up. We'll talk about the Braves. Man, they broke a curse. Shout out to Steve Martin. He's got to be so excited. And we'll talk about Blaze. Cage, anything else that I didn't mention there that you might want to talk about, a topic that's on your mind, anything before we jump right into the show?
No.
Are you even there?
I'm here. I'm going to keep it quiet today. I spoke a lot yesterday. I'm decaffeinated today. You did not like how caffeinated I was yesterday. You've made it very clear.
And what did the DM say? What did the DM say?
Well, I told people to DM
Andrew
you.
thinks?
I told people to DM you. So if you didn't get any DMs, then people clearly didn't like it. I told people to DM you. So if people aren't DMing you saying how much they loved Cage's antics, then the people have spoken or they haven't spoken, and I have to shut up.
Sorry. I got a few DMs. I got one that was saying that was the goofiest Cage has ever been. But
nice.
Dude, most others.
Did you DM yourself?
Yeah, for my crypto casuals.
DM yourself.
But no, I think when you behave in that manner, what's cool about that is people really people are more likely to send DMs. So I got 10 DMs, and most of them were this. Guys, we love when Cage is like that. We like when you guys are energetic. We listen to you not just for the plays, but for like the entertainment and the laughs, right? Because a lot of people turn this on, they're walking their dog or they're on, the train to work. And as much as, we all want to talk about sports cards, I think what we've realized is we've kind of become like a little reality show for people, right? A little humor, some jokes, some, Cage making fun of Andrew for living in Tulum and smoking a lot of pot.
Yeah, making fun of myself for not doing it is more like it.
Well, I offered to buy you a trip to Cancun when I was living there with the family and say, come for a week. And you're like, no, I'm not going anywhere until I can fly on a plane without a mask.
That's true.
That is such a ridiculous.
I did say that. You're right. And I sounded exactly like that. So I can fly on a plane without masks. The problem was you invited me with my family. You're in Tulum, right? You just told me about the young lady that moved in next door that you're stalking. That three of them. So
What was
good for you, man. Sorry, there's 3 of them.
It's across the way, and they waved. We live in like a little small apartment complex, right? So it's like 10, 15 homes. So everybody knows everybody, and when new people move in, we help each other out, because when you come to a new country, it's tough, right? You don't know anything. It's a different language. You might be worried that someone's trying to take advantage of you. So we hope to be a good resource for people, and we've become friends with a lot of the people that moved in. We've played soccer with them. We've gone to salsa night. So all good stuff. Let's get into the show. It's a fun period in sports. We got Champions League today. I know you don't watch soccer. Braves won the World Series. Football is at this awesome point where kind of every game matters now, right? We're in the second half of the season where teams are fighting for playoff contention, and if they're not fighting for playoff contention, they're fighting for seeding. They're fighting for their place. There's separation between the top and the bottom. And we'll talk NBA because, today, I don't know if you've seen it, Cage, it's a full slate of games. Lots
of good ones, too.
Mm-hmm.
Nets are in action. Against the Hawks, right? I think.
I guess we'll talk basketball right off the bat. I mean, I'll keep running with it. So I created a list for you guys. I created a list of 12 guys, and this is what I did. I put, from a performance standpoint, I put guys that I still think have upside, guys that I think are sort of neutral, and guys that I think have tremendous downside. Where do you want me to start off? And this isn't going to have every NBA player.
How about the guys with the downside? I'm curious. Give me the guys with the downside.
4 guys.
Okay.
Michael Porter Jr., Tatum, Cam Johnson, and Kevin Porter Jr.
Okay.
Let's qualify downside. These are guys that have started off poor, but I actually think that there isn't any light at the end of the tunnel for these guys. I think these guys are in for a really difficult year, both from a performance standpoint, a wins-loss standpoint for their team, and equally their cards. So let's start with Michael Porter Jr., man. He versus, I think those was the Grizzlies. They just played them. They're going to play him on a back-to-back here. He had 9 points in the first half. I think ended the game with like 12 points. But that's not even the scariest thing. Going into that game, Cage, guess how many foul shots he had up until that game? This was 7 games into the season?
So 15.
7 games.
Give him
4.
2. Wow.
4 free throws. And what's that tell you?
For real?
For real.
It means he's not getting to the line. He's not going. He's not driving. He's not initiating contact.
He's not aggressive.
Not as good as everybody thinks he is.
He's not aggressive. And that's what's scary, man. It's not that he doesn't have the talent. Because he absolutely does have the talent.
Did I jinx him? Let's be honest. Because I have been a hater
you don't have that much
of
power.
MPJ the whole time, right? And one time I made a bold prediction coming into the season that said he was going to be good this year. So it's a bold prediction, not a real prediction. Let's make sure everybody knows that. But I've not been on MPJ. I don't own an MPJ card, right? Nothing. I didn't buy his stuff. He got that big contract, right? I mean, and his stuff started to move. Can I ask, do you think maybe it's just he's adjusting to new rules, new role, that he's not comfortable? All of a sudden, he's just not talented?
It's not talent. It's not a matter of talent, man.
So,
it's
then what is it?
It's a matter of a system that doesn't work, and it's a lack of adaptability, right? Like when you come in and you play in college and high school, the whole game revolves around you. You're the best of the best. But when you get to the NBA, you have to fight for inches. And what that means is you have to evolve your game. You have to find different ways to impact the game, right? Not just stand in a corner and wait for plays to be run for you so you could shoot your favorite shot. Everybody can do that. How do you get involved so that you have option A, B, C, D, E, and all the way down the list so you can impact the game in different ways? And that's a mindset plus work ethic thing, right? It's not one or the other. You have to first be okay to change. And second, you have to put in the work to actually learn the skills to change. And when you have that, it's the same thing with Tatum, right? Tatum's significantly better. And he was on a team where they ran plays for him way more, right? Because in the beginning of a game, let's say there's 80 shots in the NBA game. Jaylen Brown's going to get 20. Jason Tatum's going to get 25. Marcus Smart's going to get 6. The shots are divvied up, Cage, before the game's basically started. Then everyone else gets the crumbs. But you're going to get your 15 to 25 shots a game if you're the star. That's already part of the equation. But what you need to do, and what I found the best of the best of the best and players we admire, they find ways to impact the game in different ways. And first off, you have to be open to that. So, I mean, Cam Johnson, I'll separate because Cam Johnson was someone I was high on, but I think he's lost his confidence. But Kevin Porter Jr., Tatum, and Michael Porter Jr., to me, those are 3 guys that are stubborn, who have a lot of talent, but you're going to see they're going to struggle all year because they are not open to finding different ways to impact the game and help their team win.
So if you got to invest in one, MPJ.
I wouldn't invest in either. I would sell. I would cut my losses on all 3.
You're selling both.
Oh, I mean, Tatum or MPJ, definitely Tatum. Because Tatum is more like Melo. Tatum's still going to put up his 30, 40, 50-point games this year. I'm just worried that the Celtics team is worse than we think it is. And I'm worried that what happens if they're an 8 or 9 seed, or what happens if they're a 10 seed? We think that's out of the conversation, but the East is not easy, and they're 1 or 2 injuries away from being a bottom barrel team.
Interesting. Very interesting. Who else? You said Kevin Porter Jr. Might as well go to Kevin Porter Jr. after Michael Porter Jr.
He's. Have you watched him play?
I watched a couple of his games. I'm surprised.
He leaves a lot to be desired.
Why I was a buyer on him was because I didn't think there was going to be anybody else who had any kind of athletic ability around him, and it seems like the supporting cast may be a little better than I thought. These young kids can actually play. Maybe, or maybe it's just he's not fighting for the shot as much, and there are other people who are like, all right, I'll go ahead and I'll be some offense.
It's a legit angle, but this Houston team, they've been a huge disappointment for me because last year Christian Wood was like, I'm going to really show everybody. Jalen Green, great pickup, great draft, but they play with no heart, and it starts with Kevin Porter Jr. If you watch him play, he's a turnover machine. He takes a ton of bad shots. He holds the ball too long. He doesn't get his teammates involved. He has a bad attitude. And this team, top to bottom, has no heart. No heart. So it's one of the – I'm going to say they're a talented team, but they have some talent. They have some stuff to work with. But they have no heart. They have no leadership. And that's quick to – there's not much that's going to change. I imagine their coach is actually going to get fired midway through the season.
Interesting. Who else? Who was on your list?
Neutral. Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, RJ Barrett, and Luka. So these neutral guys are guys that started the year pretty well, very well. But I don't think they have a ton of downside. I don't think they have a ton of upside. I think they are where they're going to be for the rest of the year was kind of my point. Like, just to start with Ja came out the gate hot. He's playing really, really well. But
the upside's already baked in now.
It's already baked in. It really is with him. And
right.
where
he has to win an MVP, basically. I'm with you.
And people keep saying he will, but I don't see how he will. Like, I just – and this isn't an attack on Ja. I just don't see how he has the skill set or the team to win an MVP out of the West. I could name 3 or 4 guards just off the top of my head that I think are better than him. And I don't think his team's going to be that great. I think his team's going to be a 7 or 8 seed at best. I think that's where they keep hanging out. And partially, again, with that is because Ja does a lot of things very well, but I don't think he does anything great. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be a great shooter. I don't think he's ever going to be a great scorer. He's going to dunk a lot. He's going to finish at the rim pretty well. But I do think I'm distracted. I'm sorry. I'm looking to my left. I do think he's going to have a very, very good year. And I think where his card prices are at now, I believe there will be 20, 30% more upside, but not tremendous amount more upside. Anthony Edwards as well, man. Like, I'm much more optimistic on LaMelo than I am Edwards after watching this first week of the season. To me, LaMelo has the it factor, and so does Edwards, but LaMelo has gotten this Charlotte team. He's kind of breathed new life into them. I don't know if you agree with that. Like, he's got players on this team playing out of their mind. Can you hear that noise?
Yeah. But it's okay. It's not really annoying me.
It might annoy others.
It's all right. I'm usually the one causing bad audio and stuff like that, but it's okay. So LaMelo, talk about LaMelo.
He's breathed new life into like this whole team. Like Ish Smith, he's talking about how Melo's our leader. We go as he goes. Gordon Hayward's playing incredibly well. Miles Bridges is playing well. I still honestly think Miles Bridges has a little bit more upside. This Hornets team is interesting because they're 7-8 deep of some really good players.
Listen, I've always liked the Hornets. I was a Devontae Graham fan. We watched the Hornets. I like LaMelo. I like that whole team. PJ Washington's been a little bit of an underperformer. Terry Rozier just seems to always be injured. But LaMelo, he has made them a legitimate team. I don't see them really giving any trouble to some of the top teams in the league. And ultimately, that's, I think, where they'll stumble. But no one's expecting them to this year. They're one of those teams that, as they get into the playoffs this year, it's an accomplishment for them because they weren't a playoff team last year. They weren't a playoff team in the 10-team expanded playoff situation. You know what I mean? So they weren't even good enough to get in that. They were close.
I think that's where I see them. I see them a 6 or 7 seed.
Yeah, which would be a nice step in the right direction, which is what you look for. And I think what's funny about it is, if you look at your list of folks, right? Michael Porter Jr., Luka, these guys, Ja,
RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett, right? So Barrett, Ja, even Luka to an extent, they're in the neutral ground. They've played a little longer than LaMelo, right? You're giving LaMelo a little more leash here and a little more upside because you haven't seen him play that much yet. And you know what? The expectations are not that high for him. Last year, Ja and Luka and even Michael Porter Jr. might have been one category over for you. Porter Jr. might have been in the okay, I'm holding steady neutral category, or maybe even in buy, and Ja might be in the buy because of the upside. But now you've got another year. All right, Luka, it's not okay for you to just be in the middle of the pack in the West now. People need an MVP. People need you to perform and do something to justify the prices that you. So I love this. I mean, I think you're 100% right.
I'm worried about the Mavs. I'm worried about Luka because I don't trust Jason Kidd at all as a coach. I just don't. I mean,
they lost their first game at home last night. He scored 30-something points. It was the Heat. The Heat are just they look like a juggernaut out there. They play great team ball. So, I think Dallas will be there when all is said and done. I think the problem is, and you said this right, and I've watched Dallas play because I like Luka. I don't have I don't even know what I have on Luka. Not much. Maybe a base card here or there. I don't have much invested in Luka at all. But I like watching his game. What you're 100% right about is he may break down. That team asked him to do more than almost any other player in the league, and that's hard. That's hard to sustain it. You know what I mean? And when I watch Giannis, his team asks him to do a lot too, but you could tell there's a team around him that will allow him to take a break, take some time off in the game, and they don't just completely fall apart and get in a hole that the team can't get back from. That's the difference there. You know what I mean? Also, Giannis is built like a truck. Luka's built like a donut truck.
Just to give you guys some context, you guys remember this?
Thing as a donut truck?
There is. San Francisco has food trucks for everything. Remember this guy Frank
Ntilikina, yeah.
He's their 7th or 8th guy. Like, that's how terrible this roster is. That
I'm surprised
Willie
he's still in the league.
Cauley-Stein and Frank is like the. I like Reggie Bullock, actually. I do. It was a Nick. But after him, there's nobody to ease the burden off of Luka. Tim Hardaway was that guy. Tim Hardaway, to me, is an incredible 6th man. But now he's in the starting lineup. So, to me, Luka is someone that I don't think his cards are going to go up. I don't think they're going to go down. I think he's just going to have a pretty neutral season.
All right. That's fine.
Now, here's where it gets fun. These are my 4 guys. I haven't talked about them a lot other than one that I'm really excited for. One of them is my play. So
nice.
I still think Tyler Hero, in terms of cards, has tremendous upside. Because, and I said this on our season preview, our content team's clipping this, so I love giving myself credit where credit's due. It's just when you have a natural role and you're asked to do something that you're not comfortable with, like he was, to run the point, you see a dip. You see a dip in performance. Now he's back doing what he loves to do. 6th man going against a second unit, and all you do is score. In fact, if you look at this roster, he's going to be their go-to scorer at a lot of times in the games. Because
who's the best 6th man to ever play basketball?
Lou Williams has got to be up there. Jay Crossover is incredible. The 6th man's a relatively new role. I don't know if there was a big 6th man.
I mean, the best to ever play. How about like Vinnie Johnson in the 80s was the microwave they called him?
I don't know who that is.
So he came off the bench for the Pistons. He was like the ultimate 6th man because he'd come off the bench and basically was instant offense, right? They called him the microwave. That was his nickname, right? I'm telling you this for a reason. And you're right. Maybe it's only something that's been around for 20, 30, 40 years. This 6th man, maybe the 6th man award hasn't been given that long, but think of the people you just named, right? Lou Williams and Jay Crossover and all these guys. You know what they all are? Cardboard irrelevant. So I have a hard time investing in someone who's excelling as a 6th man. We want somebody who's the alpha. And when you think of that Heat team, right? There really isn't an alpha. Like I've gave Bam
an alpha scorer, alpha scorer. Because they're all alphas. Like they're kind of stacked with alphas.
Yes, 100%. Yes. Alpha. It's funny how many alphas they get together on a team.
But six men weren't the same as they are now. Like
Yeah.
Tyler Hero is not going to start, but he's going to finish out games.
I guess what my thing is Hero could be an investment now as long as you understand you have to have an exit strategy with him. His cards might be
For sure.
priced low, but I mean, like, he's not somebody I'd want to hold as my PC
No.
forever. You know
No,
what I mean?
definitely
Like,
not.
he's never going to be LeBron, you know? Like,
Well,
that's
I'm talking here for the next 3-6 months. This was
perfect. Yep.
Mikal Bridges. I got to tell you, the Suns team's interesting. They kind of look like they're hungover from last year. The last 2 games they've played, they sleepwalk through the first quarter, kind of start crawling in the second, turn it on in the third, and then they win by double digits in the
So you
fourth.
like Miles Bridges and Mikal Bridges. So we know the title of this episode. Andrew has a bridge he wants to sell you.
No, I like Mikal Bridges' game. I still can't believe the Sixers passed on him. At the same time, I hope that they run more plays for him because he's actually better offensively than given credit for. And Booker is looking worse offensively. Booker looks a little out of shape, if you ask me. So that Carmelo, the real Carmelo. Carmelo. I think Melo found his spot here with this Lakers team. This Lakers team's inept, as they always will be. They can't figure shit out. But Melo is a bright spot, and they're running plays for Melo. Him and LeBron have a chemistry. This is going to be one of Carmelo's best seasons.
This won't be your play, but I'll piggyback on it right now because I know Carmelo is not going to be your play. But when I gave the Kobe Gear Relic cards as a play, one of the really cool cards, I think it was called like Real Ones or something like that, was a dual relic card, and it was Carmelo and Kobe.
Is that right?
It has a little added coolness now that Carmelo is a Laker. Maybe he wins as a Laker, and it was game used piece of Kobe and a game used piece of Carmelo in the same card. Kind of a cool thing. I think it was like, at the time, like $80 or $90. So, and it was one that wasn't exactly the rarest thing on earth. So take a look for that card, guys. If you're into the Carmelo play, it's like a cool way of protecting. If he doesn't do well, like he's still got Kobe gear on the card. But if he happens to win this year with the Lakers, and you got that whole like tie-in. So anyway, I'll throw that on there. Sorry, I know that's not your play, but
that's okay. I mean, dude, they're supposed to be value, right? It can't just be Andrew.
I got value, man. I got some value.
Are you waiting for me to wrap? Last guy, and this is my play. I think when you have a team that does well the year before, they tend to keep their lineup. So I'm talking about the Hawks. But the Hawks are in this weird spot where they have like 6 guys that kind of are the same person. You know what I mean? Like like Trey's the superstar, but then like you go Bogdanovich, you go DeAndre Hunter, Kevin Huerter, Delon Wright, Gallinari, Lou Williams, and that's my play. So Cam Reddish has not started a single game, okay? He's played 7 games, hasn't started once. He's averaging 24 minutes a game, but he's second on the team in scoring. He's averaging 16 points a game, 3.3 rebounds. He's shooting 45% from the field, and here's the best part, 44% from 3. And I think in the next – sorry I'm putting you to sleep.
I was actually a hiccup, man. Hopefully – I'm sorry you pointed it out. I was like, I'm out of gotta here. I get some more.
I would say in the next 20, 25 games, he's going to be inserted into the starting lineup.
Makes sense. I mean, would that be bad for him? I mean,
that'd be great.
What works for Hero seems to be working for Cam Reddish, and what you like about Hero's role as a 6th man is what's making him score against second, and then you take that away from him. Wouldn't the same thing apply for somebody like Reddish? I mean, maybe the reason why Reddish is heating up is because he's got that 6-man role that Hero's excelling at and playing against the second team. No? I make too much sense sometimes.
Well, it looks that way on the surface, but I think if you watch them play, it's what's your default mindset? Like Kobe's default mindset was score.
Yep.
Okay? Hero's default mindset is score. I don't think Cam Reddish was really ever a scorer. He just scored well. He could rebound. He could assist. He could defend. He's tough. He's very athletic. He's incredible matchup nightmare on defense because you could kind of put him anywhere. You could switch across. So I think he's a valuable asset in other ways. Hero, he's a liability on defense, right? So there are times where he doesn't fit in. And starting the games, maybe he's a good offensive player, but he's a liability on defense. So it looks the same way on the surface, but I think they're different players.
I love it. Love it. So Reddish is the play. I mean, look, if he ever starts, you'd like to think that, his numbers go up. So I think that's great. I think it's great. All right, guys. So you had your salad, you had your veggies. Here comes your steak. So on Halloween, did you see Gary V tweeted something weird? He tweeted, Hint: Uno cards are worth looking at.
I did
And I
see
said,
that.
what the hell is this dude talking about? So I started scouring the earth. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Uno. I played Uno cards as a kid. And I thought to myself, all right, are Uno cards at play because, what made Pokemon kind of cool, what made like Magic kind of cool is that they were a game. They were played, right? These things were played, so they weren't kept in mint condition, right? And so I started doing a little digging, and I found PSA grades Uno cards. I found some old Derek Jeter Uno cards. But I said to myself, nobody cares about baseball, boomer. I'm the walking embodiment of that. So I did a little deeper dive, right? And it turns out, a little more news here. This is the 50th anniversary of Uno. And there's a lot of cool stuff going on. It's the 50th year anniversary of Uno. And guys, this is a play you're going to get nowhere else. You're going to get this at Luca Nation, and I hope the people who pay attention to this and who play our episode on the first hour or 2 hours go and buy this, because I want to go buy every one of these myself right now. Right? I even said to Andrew, "This is such a cool play. We should just buy them all ourselves. This is a moneymaker, right? It really is, right? Nike and Giannis just announced a collaboration with Uno. Going to be all over the place, right? Yep, 100%.
Nike and Giannis collaborating
Giannis
with Uno the card game.
with Uno the card game. They're making a 50th anniversary. They're doing shoes in Uno colors, like Giannis sneakers with Uno. They announced a couple weeks ago that they're teaming up with Justin Bieber's Drew House, doing a limited edition Uno with that. But point is, it's 50th anniversary, sports, you name it, the whole 9 yards, right? So you got Giannis doing it. Here's the play, however, right? And you can take this however you like. In 06, I believe 2006, 2007, so it was the 2007, the 35th anniversary. You know who was a young star in the NBA, a couple years into the game, hadn't really won yet because he was still on the Cavs? LeBron James. In 2007, Uno made a LeBron James set. All right?
Wow. Do you want me to pull this up?
You can pull it up because
2007 Uno LeBron James, right?
2007 Uno LeBron James. You can pull them up. You just type in Uno LeBron if you like.
This is so weird. So this is kind of cool, dude.
Yeah. So there's a couple here, right? So there's a 26 card sample pack that the Cavs gave out at their game. There's also a 100 card full set, like a deck. Don't pay $2,500 for the deck, guys. Although I'm sure if you're looking to grade these things, there it is, 2342. You found it. I'm sure if you're looking to grade, that's probably in pretty good shape. But if you scroll down on these, you can see these cards pretty inexpensive. I even found a lot of these cards that was 90 LeBrons for $69, right? And it took every inch of me to not just click it and take. Whoever's listening to this, I'm sure you're going to grab it first, because this is when PSA opens back up. This is exactly the kind of cool play where you throw it in a bulk sub, you name it, and there's not a lot of these clearly out there for you to find. This is a 15-year-old Uno set with LeBron on it. It's going to be like a LeBron early card that people were supposed to be playing, right? And here's a nice little offshoot. Yeah, get this. In 06, Uno did NBA All-Star sets. So there's actually a 2006 LeBron. Not going to be as popular as the 07. The 07 is a lot out there, but as an 06, it's right there. It's on eBay. You can get the entire NBA All-Star Eastern set right now on eBay. And I'm sure there's Western ones. You guys can look for it. $39.99 or best offer. You want an Iverson? It's there. You want a Shaq? It's there. You want the whole Eastern All-Star team, including LeBron? It's there. You want to take it another level? They made a Space Jam set for him this year. Those are not going to be as rare. They're all over the place now, but it's $20, right? You want a LeBron, you want a Space Jam, you want a Bugs Bunny, if that's your thing, great. You can find LeBron 07 Uno cards on eBay for $20. You can find sets for very little money. If you want to go nuts, again, first person to listen to this, the LeBron Uno cards are on ComC as little as $1.92. $1.92 for LeBron on ComC. You can pull it up if you like and show it. It's right there. It's the bottom one. The yellow skip card is $1.92. It's showing up there. You can buy a ton of these. This is one I would throw in, someone who's going to be quick to get this will grab them. Now, is it going to be worth something? Who the hell knows? Obviously, Uno is something that's got 50 years of life to it. I don't know what the hell Gary Vee was talking about when he tweeted that. But this is where my brain went, right? Because I'm always looking for LeBron investments, NBA investments, card investments, and
This is this year's one. Oh,
what's
by
this year's?
Mattel. By Mattel.
Mattel,
Makes
yeah,
this.
Mattel's the company.
Doesn't Jeremy Padawer
He's
work with them?
Jazz
That's right.
Wares. But yeah, I'm telling you, Uno board game, $1.92. You got LeBron. You want the Space Jam? You could buy the Space Jam Uno set for $12. That's probably still in stores right now. But point on this, guys, is that's a cool, like, the 06 one, fourth year LeBron card that people did not keep in good shape, right? People play these, you know what I mean? I don't know if this is what Gary was talking about. I have no idea. But it's a cool thing. Everybody loves Uno, right? You want to talk about oddball card sets, right? I mean, I wish I would. I want to buy this 06 Eastern. I get like a Shaq, LeBron playing like a whole PSA deck of Uno cards. He playing Uno with slabs. Anyway, it's kind of a cool thing. It's a different way of playing it. It reminds me of, LeBron had Hummer cards. Kevin Durant had cards with they're giving away with cars, like Chevy had a Kevin Durant rookie card. I think LeBron has one where it came with like a Matchbox car, and there's a card of him like in the package also. Cool things like that, and the best part about this is if you type in Uno PSA, they're all graded cards on eBay. Uno PSA, they're Jeter ones, and they're expensive. So PSA obviously grades these things. The same kind of thing. I think the Jeter was 2008, so Uno must have done these kind of like collaborations with athletes, and they did LeBron and then Jeter. So that's a cool one. It's different, and I have listened to a ton of sports card content. I've never heard this play.
I mean, gotta give Gary the credit. You gotta give you the work ethic. I gotta ask you. So it's funny, Cage. As we were recording, my Tyler Hero Optic Hollow PSA 10 just sold.
Nice.
How much? Regret that. I had it listed for what I thought was a lot of money. It was $215.
Wow.
But
I gotta check if Ian still has that. I think we might have sold it to Shyway Vlogs for like $60.
At the low of lows.
Coming into the season.
But you could see people are starting to go after his cards, right? If you're hitting buy it now, and if you're seeing buy it nows on a player, it's always interesting. So like that card was about $150 card on StarStock, and there were offers for $152. And just today, someone scooped it up $215. I think they got a good deal. I think that card is a really nice card.
Optic Hollow. There you go. I'm going out now. I'm going to buy myself some Nike Air Force One Low Uno cards. Uno colored sneakers. In
the only way that you can do it, because you do the best job at this.
Shoot.
Golden Marketplace. What should people be on the lookout for?
Let's see how they do it, right? Because people gave PWCC a whole bunch of crap. PWCC's had the tech. They've had the stuff for their premier auction. They've had the IT in place. Obviously, Golden is looking to now compete. This is a space Golden's never been in. Right, PWCC has had monthly auctions for a long time. They were on eBay, and they migrated it to their own space. 40,000 auctions. That's a far cry from what they were doing on the Premier, but they basically used the tech that they had already built out in that Premier and expanded it to their monthly auction. Golden, I think I saw November 7th as a rollout day. What'll be cool about it is like all the other houses that have vaults. You can buy stuff, vault it with them. And then just click a button and it's going to be sold. Right now, I don't think they have a lot of details up as far as like fixed auction prices and the like. They're definitely second mover here. You could even say third mover. I mean, Alt started their liquidity auctions, right? They started their, instant liquid auctions, I think last week or a week before. I saw announcements for those guys. You'd like to think that these folks will learn from each other. Right, and what PWCC does well, they'll do, and what PWCC might not have done so well, they'll learn, and the product is better for all of the consumers. But I mean, it's the next step in the progression, right? They vaulted, right? What do you do when you have a vault of people's cards, right? They're eventually going to have to do something with them, and you don't want them just taking them back. Right, people who have the cards in the Golden Vault, especially ones that Golden made a big push to have people who had their cards in PWCC vault them with Golden. I think they even sent somebody to PWCC to pick up people's cards. Yes, right, so now they have this vault with a ton of cards, and I'm sure not all of them make their auction level, where it's going to be in the Golden auction. So what are you going to do? People are going to have these; they're just going to take them out and sell them themselves on eBay selling themselves on Probstein, with Probstein, or sell them, in the monthly auction PWCC. This is something that they kind of needed to do. The downside, and we talked about this even with Eric Myers, right? We talked about this with a bunch of folks that come on. There's no central place to buy your cards now, right? eBay's still probably the main place. When I wanted to research Uno, I didn't go on the PWCC monthly auction for it. It's still eBay. And previously, when PWCC was on eBay, eBay was the place, right? Now you have, like we talked about, Alt, PWCC on their own platforms. Now Golden on their platform. ComC, Star.
I'm excited for this because that's a business opportunity. Having not an eBay, right? eBay handles a lot of things for people, right?
Yep.
They deal with fraud and they deal with, but I'm talking about a marketing website that sits on top of all of these vaults and kind of APIs into Golden's marketplace, into PWCC's marketplace, into ComC. I guess eBay was kind of doing that in the past, but it would be cool to see an aggregator, not in terms of like, hey, we're going to police what's going on, but just to bring everything under one umbrella. It would be interesting. And I'm not sure if that's possible, if not, but from a custodianship perspective, Cage, like I was listening to a Bitcoin podcast and how, well, it's a little scary. Let's say somebody out there knows that you own a CryptoPunk, right? Mm-hmm. They could stop you on the street, put a gun to your head and say, send me your CryptoPunk,
of course.
Right? Same thing with cards. Like we post our cards on Instagram. You could figure out pretty easily where people live, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a little bit daunting when you have, it's not a big deal when you have $5,000 in your collection, but when you have $1 million, it's nice to have these vaults that store, insure, take care of, protect, give you the option to liquidate. I think having having a few vaulting partners is super healthy.
It's all about decentralization, right?
Sort of, yeah. It really is. It's kind of funny how it comes back together. You see these two industries kind of moving in tandem.
It's That's funny another when the things you teach me, I come back out with, right? Do you feel proud? You feel proud of the teacher and the student? Listen,
it's interesting.
Gary V, I know you listen to our episodes. If this is what you meant by your Uno play on Twitter, you have to let me know because it was very cryptic what he said. Uno cards are worth looking at.
He's good at cryptic. Like cryptic creates suspense. Like when he was releasing VeeFriends, he didn't vomit. He was just like, make sure you have ETH in your wallet. Make sure you have ETH in your MetaMask. Make sure you have ETH in your MetaMask. It's just very cryptic. So I'm proud of you. I really am. I think in all aspects of life under my
tutelage, your expert tutelage.
Under the last year and change we've been working together, like I think you're a better communicator. I think you are even better telling jokes and stories. Even though you have a natural inclination to that. I think you understand business really well. I think our community wouldn't be the same without you. Like I really don't.
I'm gonna cry.
I do some stuff behind the scenes, but people really do tune in for you. I'm willing to admit that.
You're Geppetto. I'm just Pinocchio. Yes. I'm just Pinocchio, I got all these strings holding me down, man. You just marionette me, just point me in a direction, wind me up and let me go. It's a lot of fun. So do we have any fun stuff coming up? Any cool guests that we could tell people about? Any fun shows? Do we want to tell people where? I mean, I know never the two shall meet, but we, guys, if you like what we're doing here, we also have a crypto casual show. Go ahead and sign up for that. Subscribe on YouTube to that show as well.
What is crypto casuals, right? You guys asked us to stop talking about NFTs, but really what you guys said was, hey, we're interested in NFTs, but we want to listen to that on our terms. We tune in for banter and sports cards. So we're cool. Yep. So we created Crypto Casuals. We do an episode every week where we kind of break down what's happening with coins, crypto, and NFTs. And then another episode every week is a guest episode. So we had Zane, who was one of the founders of VeeFriends with Gary. He ran the community. He started his own NFT. He's really one of my favorite guests we've ever had. So we just did an episode with him. Crypto Casuals with an S on YouTube. We have our Whatnot show every Sunday. Excited for that. Tomorrow, Cage, we're going to be doing our Dibs, kind of 5 to 10 minute segment of what's happening in the modern market. Nothing too crazy, nothing too long, but just their platform has a tremendous amount of data, right? How are cards trading, who's gone up in the last week, who's gone down. So we're going to be talking about that. We're doing a really cool innovators series with Collectible in preparation for the Mint Collective, where we're going to interview 5 innovators in the hobby. It's a very loosely used word because I believe all of you guys are innovating in one way or another. But that's going to be pretty cool. So did I hit everything?
Yeah, no, you 100% have. I mean, the Mint Collective, guys, if anybody's interested in more information, hit us up, send us a message. We'll get you more information on that. That's coming in January in Las Vegas. If you're interested in going, we get you information on that. We might do a Lucas Tigers NFT sort of event there. We'll have more info soon. That's a couple months away. But
I want to start a Saturday morning, or maybe, I think Saturday morning, maybe Friday evening, but airs Saturday morning. A football show, soccer show. I want to talk, guys. I don't think we realize Champions League is in full bloom. We got domestic leagues, but next year is the World Cup, and I do want to start talking about soccer cards, sharing my experience. So if anyone out there, wants to be a co-host, wants to create a show, has any interest in soccer, I know LAFC Gunnar, someone I've been talking to who's a wealth of knowledge. Let me know. I think talking a little bit more footy would be fun.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Thanks, everybody.